Okay, so I'd like to talk about a legend that I heard a long, long time ago. Actually, it happened in this opera house. It's a pretty creepy legend, actually. I feel like the spirit's even like roaming around here right now. Okay, so then there's this lady named Madame Geary, and she was a child. She was young, and she would she was at went to a circus as a kid, and she saw this demon child as a display. He was like an exhibit there, from what I heard. And the poor child was grunting, and he was all over the place. Oh, the poor little child. He had a bag over his head, and the gypsies came and would beat him with a leather whip, and just would beat him. Well, Madame Geary felt very, very sorry for him, and what she did was she stayed behind while the class continued on. So she peeked through the curtains and saw the poor little boy get beat by the gypsies. It was actually really, really sad from what I've heard, because he had the bag over his head and he was still on the floor trying to just grab anything he possibly could. Well, Madame Geary felt very sorry for him, but then all of a sudden, to her surprise, the little devil child got the knife of the gypsy and sliced his throat just like that. Well, in the middle of it all came more gypsies. The devil child murdered! The devil child murdered! After him! Well, Madame Geary felt very sorry for him. Come on, come on! They're after you! Come on! And she grabbed his hand and they took off. She ran and he ran with her. And they kept running and running until finally they got to the Phantom House, where Madame Geary lived there with her parents. I guess the Phantom House was under renovation at the time, and it was not active. Well, what she did was she put the little boy behind the walls of the Phantom House, and there she stored the little boy. Stay here and don't move, okay? So there the Phantom lived, behind the walls in the opera house. Madame Geary would feed him every single day, and she'd go and speak to him every single day. So he had a friend in Madame Geary, and so I guess they grew up. And Madame Geary had her own little girl, and then there was this girl that came to live there at the opera house, and her name was Christine. Well, the Phantom took a liking to her right away. He fell in love with her. She was beautiful. She had a beautiful heart. There, as the Phantom stayed behind the walls of the opera house, he taught Christine to sing. Christine was so in love with the Phantom's voice. She called him her own angel of music. Every single day, faithfully, the Phantom taught Christine how to sing. Well, the opera house was up and running, and it was pretty awesome, actually. They had lots of workers, and Madame Geary even got new bosses that were coming in to run the Phantom of the Opera. Well, the main star's name was Carlotta. Oof, I heard she had a really, really evil heart. I mean, she was a beautiful lady, but my God, her voice was just so loud. And I even heard that it was so loud that it broke glass at times. And you too, George. I hope you love what we've done with the place. The opera house is beautiful. All the rearranging, we owe it to the workers here. And also, I'd like you to meet Carlotta. I don't know why I go through this every single time. Every single new owner. The same thing over and over again. Where is my chocolate? Carlotta, you don't seem to understand. These are the new owners. These are the two gentlemen that will be taking over the contract. You might want to pay some respect to them. They are going to be paying the bill for the opera house. I'm so sorry. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. You beautiful. Miss Carlotta. I, the singer. I, the star of this place. Let me sing you a song. And all of a sudden, I heard that the curtain fell on Carlotta. She was so upset. But from what I heard that the Phantom cut the strings so it would purposely fall on her because he wanted Christine to be that star for opening night. So there went the curtains on top of Carlotta. Oh, this never happened. This never happened to me. No. Tonight, Carlotta no sing. No. I'm so angry. So Carlotta stormed off, angry as ever. And nobody could change Carlotta's mind. She was so wicked inside. Well, it's okay because I have a singer. Oh, this is not good. No. I've got a singer for you. Christine, come here, honey. Yes? Sing, honey, sing. Show them what you're made of. She's been taking lessons from a teacher for years now. Her voice is so beautiful. You're going to love it. Okay. Go ahead, Christine. Think of me fondly when we said goodbye. Remember me once in a while, please. Promise you'll try. Madame Giry had the biggest smile on her face because she was so proud of Christine, but nobody was more prouder than the man listening behind the walls, the Phantom. Carlotta was listening too. She was furious. I hate her. I hate her so much. Well, that night, Raoul showed up, which was an ex-boyfriend of Christine's, and he went up to her. Hey, Christine, wow, it's been a long time. You're so beautiful. Your voice was perfect. You sounded like an angel. Oh my gosh. Well, the Phantom was furious. He listened and heard. He was angry. Well, that wasn't going to stand for long. It almost seemed like magic that night for Christine. Her and Raoul seemed to have fallen in love all over again. There, they looked into each other's eyes while she went to her room. And as soon as she walked into the door, the Phantom started singing to her. He was angry. He wanted her hand. She couldn't believe it. She had never seen the Phantom before at all. She was like flabbergasted. So she grabbed his hand and he took her in this long hall. And then they went in a boat. And in the boat, he took her to where he lived. It was pretty creepy, I heard. But there, he confessed his love for Christine. He told her how much he loved her and that one day he'd want to marry her. She was such in a trance. She wasn't scared. She was in this trance. It was almost as if he had hypnotized her. Well, Christine had to go back because everybody was worried. So he told her that he would take her back. When Christine got back, she fell asleep. The next day, Carlotta was angry and went up to her bosses. I want to sing again. I the star and I sing again. You don't take my position. I got the contract. She was so annoying. Well, they had no choice but to give her position back. The Phantom was furious. I heard that night he killed someone out of cold blood. They had no choice. Christine was very upset. That same night, I heard the bosses, they all got threatening letters saying that Christine better be the star or else. Well, there was another killing because they didn't listen to her. Carlotta was singing left and right, and there was people dying left and right. Gives me the chills. Christine started spending more and more time with Raoul, and the more time she would spend with Raoul, the more furious that the Phantom would feel. Raoul asked her hand in marriage. Christine was overjoyed, but the Phantom was furious. Madame Giry's eyes were scared because she didn't know what was going to happen. Well, that night, the Phantom came back for Christine, and Raoul was there. And they got into a huge fight. Christine was so scared. She didn't know what to do because they were rolling all over the floor and they had swords. And she knew that the Phantom was a murderer. She wanted nothing to do with the Phantom. And all of a sudden, in the midst of the struggle, the Phantom's mask fell off of his face. Christine was so scared. He looked like a monster. He grabbed Christine by the hand and took her back to the dungeon while Raoul laid there injured. He got up and he went after her. Why can't you love me, Christine? I love you so much. Well, Christine was frightened. His face looked scary, like a monster. Raoul. Christine, I'm here. The Phantom was furious that Raoul was there, in his territory now. The Phantom was furious. He went over there to Raoul and put a noose over his head and was going to take care of Raoul once and for all until Christine screamed, "Stop! I love him! Don't!" And the Phantom stopped. And Raoul stopped. "Leave. Both of you. Leave." Christine and Raoul found their way back, and the Phantom was never heard from again. From what I hear he still lives behind these walls. I don't know. I heard they were coming out with a movie about the whole legend. I wonder if he really does live behind these walls.